if the pandemic has taught anybody anything, it is just how precarious the business is.
But it is a calling, isn't it? It's a need. It's not. I'm gonna give up nursing because I want to live like on the dole or anything like that. It's a calling. So you try and balance everything together, don't you?
I was listening to your other podcast a couple of weeks ago with Craig Russell, and for the benefit of the tape, we're all rather good friends. It's a very, very strange profession in that the people that you meet when you're fairly young, they tend to stay with you. There's a very, very unusual, very unique camaraderie and buzz that goes with being a young actor. And a lot of those friends stay with you for life. A lot of them go by the wayside and you may not see them for years, but they're always in your heart. But yeah, it's a lifestyle. And I'm sure the other guys that we've all grown up with will say the same thing. It doesn't matter how much money's involved. It's about being a jobber. It's about getting out there and doing interesting projects. It's about finding other things that run alongside your acting that'll benefit it. In my case, obviously, it's been the nursing. It's a strange old life, and it's really strange that I've chosen almost two vocations. There's those that would argue that nursing would be a calling as well. I'm starting to sound like a fucking priest now. Obviously, over the years, people ask, should I become an actor? Should I do this? Should I do that? And I'm like, well, no. Well, why do you say that? You don't need to ask me. If you want to do it, you'll have my 100% support, and go and do it, and you'll have a great time and you'll meet wonderful people. But don't seek approval from anybody else to do this job, because it's a very personal decision. It's a very, very tough one. And the reality is that you're setting yourself up for many, many years of, possibly a lifetime of just being in the odd job and being satisfied with that. So yeah, it does feel, what Steve said is bang on. You don't love it, but you're in love with it. Or is it the other way around? I don't know.
Yeah, that sentiment. You've got to love it, and you've got to sort of want to do it. But it's like you can walk away.
But the weird thing about the job is, I'm sure somebody in the SAS would do the same thing. It's one of those strange professions. But if you say you're gonna walk away from it, the general answer from everybody in the business is going to be, okay, see you soon, bye. Cool. And then 10 years later, when you come back into the business, it's, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you. There's no fanfares.
No,
it's that kind of job where you can, if you want to, flit in and flit out of it. Interestingly, you mentioned Russ and Craig Russell, and you mentioned Steve Mayo. One of the lovely things that those guys had, because I'm pretty certain it's not just them two. I believe Eve Miles was with them in school as well. There were a lot more actors around for them. I know they were friends before they became actors, but the one frustrating thing that I had, that I found I constantly came up against when I was in school, there were no other actors. There was nobody in my high school and nobody in my primary school that acted. The only person that there was another great friend of ours, Zoe Richards. She doesn't act anymore. She's become highly successful in other fields. But she was a good few years younger, and it was only when I came to National Youth Theatre, again, when I was 20, that we became friends. So we sort of bypassed friendship in school. So to a large extent, I found myself making it up as I went along. I didn't have you guys, and it would have been lovely to have had some other actors in school if it wasn't for a really, really good English tutor. That opportunity might have passed me by. It literally took the encouragement of Mr. Richard Miles. I'm sure he's probably retired now and enjoying life, putting his feet up. But if it wasn't for him, I I don't know what I would have done.
You'll never know that answer. It's, it's amazing that you've followed the path, you've left it, you've come back, and it's always been within you. So I think that's a lovely journey.
It's nice to be back. It's a huge, I wouldn't say huge weight off my mind, because it's I'm 47 now, and coming into middle age, I'm a very different cast in band, as you know. But I've enjoyed it. I've done some lovely jobs since I've been back. They're still pretty patchy, but it is still pretty early days. I've been back in it properly about 5 years now. But I'm enjoying every minute.
But that's the thing, it does happen, and it's you've just got to be happy. You've just got to have that balance, and I think if you've got that balance, happy life.
There is no balance. It's a weird old term. Yeah, that's a weird old term. I don't think there is ever balance in that, in this job. I think in your home life, you can aim for some modicum of balance, and I think that's really important. But in acting, I don't know whether balance would be slightly counterproductive. I think keeping it fresh and keeping it edgy always shows in the work. We've stayed in touch for 30 years. I mean, we've never, I might have flitted in and out of the business, but as I've said, the friendships tend to last, and we've been friends for 30 years and we've never lost contact. And I think that's the one great thing about the job.
Andrew Lennon, thank you very much for today. I really appreciate it.
Take care, mate. Nice to see you.